Hey everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are doing happy, doing blessed, doing safe, doing well. And I hope everything's going groovy for y'all. So, this will be my final stream of 2025. I will not stream tomorrow. I will not stream what is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, I think. Yeah. I will not be streaming Thursday and I will not be streaming Friday or Saturday. This will be my final stream of 2025. Starting next week, we will be starting on Civilization 7. And then after that, I'm going to do a playthrough of this is my plan right now, but we all know how that works out. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Civilization 7, and then I'm going to be either doing a playthrough of um Mass Effect or Far Cry. I haven't really decided which one yet. Okay, Far Cry 5. So, with that being said, tonight we're just going to chill. And I want to pick up what we left off last night in about psychic predictions for 2026. Okay. So, let's see here. I'm going to bring up the window capture here. So, this is my window capture, and let's see what we get out of 2026. What the psychics are saying. So let's see. I think it was this one I didn't look at last night. Um. So as of 2026, whether it's century old. Okay. So this is Baba Vanga. She's a mystic. She passed away in 1996. But she wrote down a whole bunch of her predictions, and every year and from what I understand, okay, I want to tell y'all the legit on this. Baba Vanga. Okay, so during the Cold War, a clairvoyance, and it's blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, so basically, she, wrote down her predictions, and her family tells them every year. Okay. Okay, so these are the ones for 2026. And already off the bat, they seem kind of crazy. Okay. So first off, it said that her one of her more dramatic predictions, according to reports, is that she has warned of rising global tensions. That's happened in 2025, and it'll probably continue in 2026. Just focusing on that for a moment, I personally think, as far as global tensions are concerned, I don't think we will go to a war with Venezuela. I think something will happen in Venezuela that will stop that will cause them to back off. Okay, that will cause some type of change of power or something. Now, whether or not we precipitated that with all of our stuff, I don't know. But there's also the Russian Ukraine war. I think that will come to an end. Okay, and I'm gonna make some of these predictions later on. I think that will come to an end, but I am concerned about China, and I'm not a psychic. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing. Okay. So, contact with aliens. The most sensational claim linked to 2026 is the possibility of humanity encountering life beyond Earth. Now, this is very interesting because I want to show you something that's been kind of popping up. Atlas 2B. So, no, Atlas 2B space object. I should have put that down. Okay. It's 3I, an interstellar comet discovered in 2005. Okay. I've been seeing this pop up. I mean, it's on the New York Post. 8 theories that suggest that this 3I Atlas is an alien spacecraft. And then I look and I see this Contact with Aliens by Baba Vanga. Okay. You have to wonder if, first off, you have to keep an open mind about it. Okay. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Hindu. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care what. You have to keep an open mind. Okay. Now, am I going to sit here and say that yes, they visited us before? No, but I'm going to keep an open mind about it, and I have to keep an open mind about because if you close your mind off to the possibility and then it actually does happen, then you got to completely change your way of thinking. I mean, just completely alter it. All right, so. But here's the question that I really think we should be asking ourselves. Would contact with an alien life form, whether that be them contacting us or we contacting them or some type of interception of some type of signal, would that really be good for us? I know that over on X, let me get on X and look at some of Elon's tweets, okay? Social media, X, okay. So Elon's been talking about making a base on the Mars and stuff. Let me get Elon Musk here. Boop. Okay. So has bought a third building called we will take XAI and train to compute to 2G. Okay. Can give no that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. No. 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 I know he talked about making a moon base. Okay. Oh wait, I know what. I know where it's at. Duh. So over here. So there's my combat record for Call of Duty. I'm not even playing that anymore. Not after they jacked up the skill-based matchmaking. So there was some stuff I did for Gina not for her but of her. You know, I was just playing around with Grok. Let's see here. No. Doggone, where's that at? I know he made a comment about let's see. Here it is. Okay, it wasn't Elon. It says we are going to build a moon base. And someone made this claim right here where we had like Warhammer 40K. And then I made this disclaimer that it's going to be more like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Okay. The reason I made that claim, the reason I said that to begin with, was because let's say we did start actually accelerating our control over space. Are we just going to sit there and take our own nonsense up there with it? Okay? That's really the question I have to ask is, are we ready for space? In science fiction films, they call Earth the cradle of humanity because it's where humanity was born, it's where it grew up. The question is, are we ready to leave the cradle to explore? Okay, when you are a child, okay, you are put in the cradle for a reason because if you try to stay in a bed, you're going to end up hurting yourself. Could the same thing happen to us in a more larger sense? I mean, if we start exploring out in the space, okay, and I'm not saying don't explore out in space, but what I'm talking about is actually colonizing the moon, colonizing Mars, okay. If we start actually doing that, are we going to make more problems than we have now? All right. That's really the question I'm asking. Are we going to take our nonsense, the things that we fought over for thousands of years, and instead of just keeping them here on Earth, are we going to take them to the Mars and Moon? Now, I full on believe that we should have a colony on Mars, a colony on the Moon, that we should have a backup plan. Because if we learned anything from history, is that there can be life-altering events that could almost wipe out humanity. Okay? Just look at the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs never saw that comet that hit them. There's also been several other events. I think one. Let me try to get that on here. Let's see here. Mass extinction events in history. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we've had the now these are just here on Earth, okay? Or what they're calling the Ordovician Silurian extinction. Okay, that eliminated about 85% of marine species brought on by they believe it was brought on by climate change. The late, I guess that's Devonian extinction. 75% of species. Then we had the Permian Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying. This event is the most severe, with an estimated 96% of all species on the planet. Okay, then you had the Triassic Jurassic extinction, led to the loss of about 80% of species, paving the way for the dominance of dinosaurs. And then you had the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction. This event is famous for the extinction of the dinosaurs. The leading cause is believed to be the impact of a large asteroid in Mexico. Now, I recognize the what is that? Let me see where that's at. See how you Chicxulub impact crater. Where's that crater at? And I know we're kind of getting into science here. Where's it at? Is okay. So it's on the Yucatan Peninsula right there. Okay, and this is a in Mexico. Its center is offshore, but the crater is named after the onshore community. It was formed. The crater is estimated to be. The crater was discovered. Who blah 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 blah. Okay, so okay. Let's see if I can't zoom this in. Yeah, so it's right up there. Yeah, so it's right on like the edge right there. So let me get on Google Maps and I'll give you a good more like Google Maps. Okay, so let's zoom out my hometown. Yeah, so it's in this area right here by the big town of Meridia. Let me go back and make sure that's correct. Okay, there's the Yucatan Peninsula. Alright, so it's like... Okay, so there's the crater. Okay, so it's like... Okay, there's Cancun. And there's the crater right there. So it would be in this area right here. Like by Meridia, Progreso, Dizamo de Bravo Municipality, Hunuchukma, Sisal, all that stuff. So this is really where it would be at, is this area right here. And the center of the impact crater would be right here, so it would it would encompass all of these, okay? But I kind of got sidetracked there, sorry about that. But anyway, like I was saying, like, there's been mass extinction events throughout history, okay? I mean, how many times during the Cold War did we come close to having another mass extinction event? Okay. And I really got to turn this on. But yeah, like, how many? I mean, look at this. 5 in Earth's history. 5 mass extinction events. So yeah, I do believe that we should go out into space. My concern is that we're going to be taking our own nonsense with us. Okay? Or worse yet, if Baba Vanga is right, and I'm not saying she is, okay? I'm just saying what they're saying. But let's say this does happen this year, okay? And let's say it is full-fledged contact, okay? If they're not in line with what if there ain't no way for us to find common ground. We're going to see them as enemies, okay? Because really, if you look at UFO films, okay, they are really a reflection of us, okay? And I learned this from Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay? All right. Had to get me something to drink there. But if you look at UFO films, okay, the majority of them have the UFOs coming down and trying to capture humans, okay? That's the ones we know, all right? Well, really, that's what we expect because that's happened to us, okay? That's what we've done, okay? We've gone, and I'm not just talking about Americans, I'm talking about everyone. No one is clean on this front. But normal people have gone on and they've conquered other lands and they have taken prisoners and turned them into indentured slaves. They've turned them into slaves. Okay? Now, we don't do that stuff anymore, but I hate to tell y'all this, but there's still a small slave trade going on in the world. So, while major governments, legit governments, no longer do that sort of thing, it still happens. Okay, and I'm worried that if we do make contact with aliens, if there ain't a way for us to coexist, if there ain't a common frame of reference for us, for them and us, okay, that either they're going to do it to us or we're going to do them, and something's going to cause it. Okay. So, while I would love to see, I want to have contact with aliens. I hope this happens. Okay? I want to be peaceful contact and I want to go slow. And I really do hope, and I'm going to Google this because I'm kind of curious about this. Does the government have a plan for contact with aliens? So let's see here. While it doesn't have it does have the process for investigating via So they really, okay. Even this that okay. So let me see what this is about. We are not alone. Okay, I mean, to be completely honest, I wish that there was a plan. Okay. Let me see if what I heard is true, because I heard that there was planetary defense plan by NASA, focus okay, so this is basically just tracking asteroids, because I heard there was a thing called the planetary defense plan that would protect the Earth or have a plan to counter aliens. Okay, let me see if there is such a thing. Is there any type of military plan to protect against alien invasion? Well, tonight I'm learning all kinds of stuff because y'all. So let's see. Is there a time? While there isn't one unified, or including space defense teams, focus on concepts for asteroid, and even using fictional threats to develop generic defense planning skills. Okay, so so plan for everything, international cooperation. So basically, while they don't have like a book of what to do, although I think they probably do, are, I'm worried that when we do make full-on contact, I'm not talking about a signal going there. I'm talking about them face-to-face with a representative. Then I'm worried that if there ain't no frame of reference where we can kind of see what they're like and them see what we're like, then something's going to happen that's going to trigger what we see in the movies, But continue, but I kind of got on the sidetrack there. I'm sorry about that. I kind of got sidetracked there. But anyway, we're back to Baba Vanga. So she said there's going to be a rise of natural disasters. You know, this ain't nothing new. You know, I've personally experienced rises in tornadoes and, um, you know, being in Arkansas, you know, you're expecting that, but the past couple of years have been kind of brutal. And I read somewhere, is tornado alley moving? So I read somewhere that the tornado alley is shifting. Recent studies indicate that this area, traditionally known for, is shifting towards the east and deep south. So, for those of you who don't know, okay, in between, and I'm going to bring back the map of the United States here. So let me get back to Google Maps. So let me get back Google Maps here. So, okay, so this is the United States, okay? So, for God knows how long, there's been an alleyway of tornadoes between Texas and the Canadian border, okay? And it would extend from around Wyoming and Montana and New Mexico all the way to about Arkansas, okay? And then over here, like in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, you have what you call Dixie Alley, which is like a smaller area of where tornadoes were, you know, very likely to develop, okay? Now they're saying that this area right here, this big area of Tornado Alley, is shifting eastward. And I tend to believe them. Okay. I really do tend to believe them. Because for the past 5 years, okay, I have seen tornadoes come pretty freaking close to me. I've seen what they call the Mayfield EF5, which killed someone, actually killed 2 people, but killed a couple of people a couple towns over, okay, and came within about 2 or 3 miles of my home, okay. I've seen a tornado hit the biggest nearest town to me, which is Jonesboro, Arkansas, right around while we were all locked down. And the only reason it didn't hurt more people was because of the lockdown, okay? Because that tornado hit a mall. If you ever got a chance, Google, go to YouTube and Google Jonesboro, Arkansas tornado. Let me see when that was. Was it 2022 or 2023? Jonesboro, Arkansas tornado. Let's see. Okay, it was in. No, I ain't that. Okay, so this is the video right here, and I'm not going to play it or anything like that. So this was on the 2020. Okay, March 28th, 2020. All right. And even this year, they had a pretty decent event. Okay. So, yeah, I can totally see that happening this year. Okay. And if you really think about it, it ain't just tornadoes, it's also hurricanes. I mean, this past year was kind of light on the hurricanes. Okay. I really don't remember any significant hurricanes hitting us. So it's kind of like the lull before the storm. And then there was the earthquakes and stuff, especially around here. Okay. I mean, they were small earthquakes. Okay. They were really small. Like, at most, I think the highest one was like a 3 in my neck of the woods. But we live on a major fault line in the middle of the United States. Okay. So, like, yeah, like, if a major earthquake hit around here, people would feel it. Okay, and it would do significant damage. All right. So yeah, like seriously, like what I'm trying to tell you is, yeah, I could totally see this happening as far as disasters and all that other stuff. All right. So global economic crisis. I think this will also happen. I think there's too much going on in terms of um just everything going on with war and stuff, that I think that will happen as well. But I also think that what could cause an economic crisis is cryptocurrency. I think everyone's kind of buying into cryptocurrency and kind of trying to start to get away from the dollar and the euro and the yen and all that stuff. And when that finally does collapse around people's heads, I think there's going to be a major economic crisis. Okay. So then we get some from Nostradamus. And now this is very interesting to me. Okay. This is very interesting to me because last night we heard from someone that said that Donald Trump was going to be at a celebrity funeral in the early part of the year. Now we see from Nostradamus, and I full on admit that the woman could have, looked at this, okay? But what I'm seeing from this is the great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt. Okay, so that could be anyone. And remember, last night we heard from someone who does celebrity news that Donald Trump was going to be seen at the funeral of a president. Okay, so it's not. She could have read this and be like, okay, I'll kind of twist that around and stuff. But like, come on. It says here, continuing with the 26 numerology theory, because of the favor that the city will show, the Ticino will overflow with blood. For the unversed, Ticino is the southernmost canton of Switzerland, with a large area of forests, lakes, and glaciers. As of now, nobody knows why it has been specifically named this prediction, but okay. So basically what they're saying here is that it's the southernmost canton of Switzerland. So let's get back on Google Maps. And I'm about ready to start keeping Google Maps on here. Google, there it is. So let's get Google Maps on here. And let's go, and I'll go over to Switzerland. Let's see here. Sweden, Austria, Slovakia, Serbia, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Oslo. No. There it is, Switzerland. And it says here, will overflow is the southernmost canton of a large area of four. Okay, so it's the southernmost. So that would be around Lugano. So that would be Lugano, Mendrisio, Locarno, Bellinzona. So that area will be bathed in blood. Oh, that's just grand. I mean, what's this right here? So the 2 highway, San Salvatore Mountain. Could that be could that indicate a volcanic eruption? Let me see. San Salvatore Mountain. If I can ever get my keyboard to work right. It's not only offered, but it's also is a famous peak known for its summit. Is accessible via. Okay, so it doesn't say it's a volcano or any type of top volcano. But it could also indicate like a landslide. Some type of landslide situation. Okay. But it says it'd be bathed in blood. So it could also mean some type of aggressive action, like a war or something. But they wouldn't no one would do that because Switzerland's been neutral on all things for God knows how long. Okay. But still, I mean, you're talking about that's how crazy things are now. You know. Okay, so flood, storms, and environmental chaos also appear. This is a theme that resonates. Okay. Okay, this one's Athos Salome. He's a living Nostradamus. I don't know whether or not he's a Brazilian psychic. Um, so we're going to have from this is what he predicts now. He says here that Salome has claimed that a significant health-related event within the British royal family could trigger emotional. Okay, so something's going to happen that's going to trigger kind of a reforming of the royal family. As you know, Harry and Meghan have kind of left the royal family. Not including that, you've also had the scandals within it. What was that guy's name? Royal family Epstein. Because I know one of them got caught up in the Epstein stuff. So let's see here. Okay, Prince Andrew. Okay, it was Prince Andrew. So, could we be seeing a situation where someone within the royal family, if I ever get this right, we could be seeing a situation where someone within the royal family gets so sick that it causes reconciliation not only with Harry and Meghan, but with Prince Andrew. But I don't know how you would, reconcile with that, but still. So, misuse of AI. This ain't no prediction. This is going to happen. Okay, it may not be in 2026, but it's going to happen. Okay, and now as for he also predicted a major global cyber event that this could be something far more severe than past data breaches. Okay, so we could be looking at a cyber Pearl Harbor this year. That's what I think. That's what he's getting at. Let's see here. They lose control over technology. That's already happened, dude. Okay, just look on X. You'll see it happening. His work became widely discussed. Okay, so I've never heard this woman. Her name is Ryu Tatsuki. Is a former Japanese manga artist. He is known for documenting prophetic dreams. Excuse me. Okay, so we got tsunamis, earthquakes. Okay, physical, describe emotional and social disruption. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what we got from those so far. Now, let's see here. Okay, I don't really care about the Royals. Okay. So, Psychic predicts world leader will die. It's not Trump. No kidding. Um, 2026 Psychic. Okay, so let's go to Psychic World and see if we can't get anything from there. So the most okay, so this is basically talking about astrology and stuff. So let's see what we got here. Okay, this is not okay. So more than likely, early in the year, we're already seeing the first signs of that. The Ukraine Russia conflict will end. Okay, I think we're already seeing the first signs of that, and I think it needs to happen. Okay, uh, the cryptocurrency bull run, yeah. I think now this is interesting. The FIFA World Cup 2026 first time winner, by U.S., Canada, and Mexico will crown a first time winner. It could be Mexico. That's what they're pointing to. Belgium or Portugal. Okay, to underdog victories. So the influence of the Uranus Pluto trine, I don't know what that is, which historically corresponds with underdog victories and revolutionary upsets. Okay. Not just but for technological and how the game is viewed and experienced, likely involving AI assisted refereeing that sparks. Oh, good night. There ain't no way they're going to have AI assisted refereeing. No way, dude. That's so far gone. No. Okay, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I don't really want to see that, but I mean, he's getting on up there in age. Tesla faces a major setback. Okay, I don't really care about Andrew Tate. I mean, you know, I hope I hope he didn't do whatever he's accused of doing, but still. This is something interesting right here. President Trump's health issues in second term. President Donald Trump will experience significant health issues as he enters the second term of his presidency. They're not life-threatening, but they're serious enough to reduce his public appearances and empower his vice president to take on a more active role. It says here that the health issues will likely be cardiovascular or neurological in nature. All right. At this point, the way this man works, I honestly would not be surprised. Okay. I mean, this man, he literally flew, what, how many hours to the Kirk funeral after trying to talk to Putin and stuff? This man's been working nonstop, probably 24 hours a day at this point. So, yeah, I could see this happening. Okay, so there's going to be a major political realignment in Europe. Hopefully that will benefit us. I don't really care about AI. All right. Quantum computing. So what is quantum computing? Let's find out about that. Because they're not saying that uses principles like superposition. Use bits. Quantum computers use qubits that can be both 0 and 1 at the same time, allowing them to tackle complex problems much faster than traditional computers. Allows the quantum to explore a vast number of possibilities at once. For example, with n bits, a quantum computer can represent two states at the same time. So basically, it's like a super fast computer that can, make better predictions and do better high-level calculations than a normal computer could ever do. Okay, so the first commercially viable quantum computer will debut, apparently. So the space industry achieves a major milestone, likely the first commercial space station module or a successful lunar landing by a private company. I think this will be SpaceX. Okay, I think this will be SpaceX, especially if this right here happens. Okay, if Tesla faces a major setback, I think Elon Musk is going to be kind of pushed to get mankind to space. Okay, so I think, I think that if anyone would do it, it'd be Elon Musk and SpaceX, especially if Tesla takes a big hit. Okay, so we're gonna have a return to sincerity. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, with endless irony and cynicism, performative online activist and influencer culture fakeness. So basically, people are getting tired of fakeness, which that's been going on for a while. Sees the beginning of a sincere renaissance where authenticity comes back, the most valued social currency. Serious long form content makes a comeback. Okay, and okay. So basically, we're going to have a renaissance. I think we are having. I think that probably will happen, but I think we're also going to have a revival in belief. For a long time, I hate to say this, but for a long time, the youth have really not had any type of faith in God or any God for that matter. And I think that Charlie Kirk's assassination has kind of spurred on a revival. And I think we're going to see that revival really kick into overdrive in 2026. I think with there are going to be youth led movements. Okay. So basically, 2026 is not a year to play it safe. I completely disagree with that. So that was Psychic World. We did Times. Let's try this. Let's see. I do not want that. If 2025 made you feel like the ground was perpetually shifting beneath you, you're definitely going to want to steel yourself for 2026. So let's see here. Okay, Neptune, the planet of illusion and healing, has spent 15 years in Pisces. Okay, I don't know anything about this nonsense, so I'm just going back out of that. So let's see what this got. Okay, don't care about that. Okay, so as 2020, okay, I've already heard of Selena Avalon, so I've already. Okay, I just read about the living Nostradamus. Um, let's try the mirror. Is this it? Okay. Well, if I ever prefer Jill. Okay, so this woman's name is Jill M. Jackson. Okay, so let's see what she has to say. Okay, I'm a firm believer as energy as opposed to fear-based energy. She went on to say there are a lot of changes coming, and that it was important for us to be in a place of preparation. She said that there's going to be a lot of economic instability. One of those effects that emerge. So there, okay. She said there. Okay, so she had made a prediction in November that Japan would suffer an earthquake at 7 or more on the Richter scale, and sadly, it did come to pass. She said, "I prefer it when I'm not accurate, but I do see more coming. I'm seeing more earthquakes on the West Coast. Oh man, I'm seeing places like Indonesia and Thailand now for several years. Spirit has been talking about these major events. I feel that continues. Okay, that she can feel that it amplifies some areas. Okay, and that she's seeing an amplification of water events, including flooding. Okay. Topic turn to war. As well as for money, she says that people truly wake up to this. But I do feel that, like Jeff, that it continue that like it's feel like we're going to see some major conflict and a world conflict, actually in certain places. She described the tensions as an increased interesting dynamic and sadly feel that escalating as well. But also add that she feels that like that fizzes out mid 2026 or so. So yeah, I personally think, and I'm gonna pull back here. So I think that Venezuela is going to fizzle out. Okay, I think that right now Venezuela is probably going to burn itself out in terms of what we're doing down there. Okay. However, with that being said, let me come over here. However, if I can find it, where's Taiwan? Let me find Taiwan here. And I know what y'all thinking where I'm going to. Okay, there it is. I think that if you're looking for a conflict, don't look no further than Taiwan. Okay. I think that, with our attention turned towards the Ukraine, our attention turned towards Venezuela, I think China's going to probably think, okay, this is a time to take Taiwan. There's already been rumors online about them making preparations, like putting certain things in certain areas. Not major preparations, but kind of like getting stuff together. Okay. So I do think that if you're looking for a major one, is up here in North and South Korea. All right. I think that, outside Taiwan, North Korea and South Korea going into war could be a possibility because the top leader in North Korea is someone who, to me, feels like he wants South Korea. He almost feels pressured to do what his father and grandfather could not do. Okay. And when you got that pressure of trying to outdo your family, okay, that can do a lot. Especially if there's something happening in North Korea, like a famine or something. Oh man, I already had some frame rate drops. Oh, it ain't that many. Oh well. But anyway, let's see here. So that was that. And really, that's all we got for the predictions. Now, I'm not a psychic. All right. But I'm going to tell you what I think. I think in the United States, there's going to be a revival in belief. Okay. I think we're already seeing the first steps of that because right after the Charlie Kirk situation, my Twitter feed was flooded with people saying they're going to church for the first time. They're reading the Bible for the first time. Okay. I think you're going to see that continue happening in 2026. And I think that, we're going to continue, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see that in 2026. The revival of belief. Okay. I think that what needs to happen in 2026 is Hollywood get their act together. Because they can't keep doing what they've been doing. And I'm hopeful that maybe in 2026 they'll finally realize that catering to this minority audience that doesn't stick around for your movies, just wants you to change everything to suit their feelings, that they'll finally realize, you know what, that ain't going to work. We got to change things. So I'm hoping for that. But that's really all I got in terms of my own predictions, unless I come up with some more later on. But anyway, that's where we are with the psychic predictions. I'm going to look for one more psychic prediction. And that's what, no, Nostradamus. Predictions for 2026. So let's see what we got here. Okay, this is Times of India. And the thing you gotta understand about Nostradamus is that there is a great many people, and I'm kind of on the fence on it. I think it's possible, but at the same time, because he did have to write in code and the quatrains and everything, it's kind of hard to really say, okay, yes, he did, So, let's look at this. Let's see, that will give you chills. Okay. So, let's see here. One of the most frequently, let me remove this. One of the most frequently cited interpretations on a verse describing the war lasting 7 more. The mention of French cities has that regional impact. Cities like Rouen and Evro has led to some speculation about a wider regional impact. Okay. So, another unsigned prediction speaks of a sudden night ambush involving a swarm of bees, drones. And as along the Bay, in recent years, it has been associated with covert warfare, drone technology, or coordinated military strikes. Others see the bees as symbolic of powerful leaders or rival blocs quietly planning strategic moves. And again, we got the sudden death of a powerful figure. There's going to be bloodshed or disaster in Switzerland. And climate stress and powers are going to be shifting around the world. So that's what Nostradamus is basically predicting for 2026. So what's next for us? So this was my final stream of 2025. Okay. This was it. All right. I will not stream tomorrow. I will not stream Thursday. I will not stream Friday. Obviously, I won't stream Saturday or Sunday. I'll be back Monday. I will be back with hopefully Civilization 7. Now, I will say this. I might do a test stream on Friday to kind of test out because supposedly I'm supposed to be getting the TV any day now. Okay. And the reason I haven't been playing Fortnite is because of my TV. My TV's all fouled up. Okay. So, with that being said, all right, I'm hoping to stream Monday Civilization 7. I want to stream that game. I really want to get that game and stream it. In other news, what happens after that? So, obviously, my Geek Report will come. I'm still going to do the Geek Report. But my Geek Report will be for the 5th of January to the 12th. Okay. Well, actually, it'll be for the 1st of January to the 12th. Okay. Just kind of, go ahead and do that already. You know what I'm saying? Because of New Year's and everything. We'll have it for the 1st of January till the 12th of January. Now then, I am also still working on the book I said I've been working on, and I will get back on for it for you here in a second. There it goes. So this is what I'm working on in terms of my book review. Just to kind of off the bat, I'm kind of disappointed in this one after what happened in books 1 and 2. I'm really disappointed in this one. Okay. So there's that. And then after that, if I can find his Max Velocity book. Let's see if I can't. Here it is. So after that, I'm going to start a book review of the Patriot Dawn series. This is book 1. There's 3 books in them. And the reason I'm doing this is because they just came out with a 3rd book in the series that I want to get, that I've gotten already. And I want to read. I want to start over from the 1st book and move on to the 3rd book. Okay. So that's kind of happening. I'm kind of on the fence about doing a Black Ops 7 review. I was planning on doing a Black Ops 7 review. But to be all honestly, I was going to do it. In fact, I've already got it recorded. But after this past week, I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. And I don't know if it's just like burnout from Call of Duty or whatnot. But right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm kind of deleting it. I'm just burned out, on everything Call of Duty. All right. I'm just tired of the fact that they don't listen to the fans. They're protecting newbies, but then when you get high enough, you are getting your butt kicked. That they put skill-based matchmaking into everything. And the fact that the campaign was complete and utter garbage this year. Honestly, do I feel like I wasted my money? Well, the multiplayer, outside the skill-based matchmaking stuff, the multiplayer had good maps. Alright, and zombies was fun, and so was Endgame. Okay? But the campaign and this whole skill-based matchmaking issue, yeah, I probably won't be back to Call of Duty for a while. if at all. And as for Modern Warfare 4, yeah, I'm not even going to touch that. I personally think that they should take the year off because of Grand Theft Auto 6. That's just my personal opinion. Another thing is that this will be my final year of streaming on the PS4. If I don't get a PS5 by next fall, then I won't stream games anymore. Obviously, I take my summer break, so sometime around April or May will be my final streams for the PS4 as well as for whatever game I'm streaming at the time. I'm going to try to stream Civilization 7, obviously. And then I'm going to try to do Mass Effect Legendary Edition as well as Far Cry 5. If I do that, I'm going to do Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'll do Mass Effect 1 in that game. Take a break and do Far Cry 5. Come back to Mass Effect. Take a break and do Shinobi. And then do Mass Effect 3. And maybe if I have enough time, I might do Mass Effect Andromeda. But yeah, that's where I'm standing in terms of my plan right now. Right now I'm more focused on Civilization 7. I am more focused on the Geek Report, and I'm more focused on my book review for Operation Red Dawn and Siege of Europe. That's what I'm really focused on right now. Before I go, I just want to say thank y'all for joining me this past couple of months. This past year. Whether you watched my Geek Reports, whether you watched whatever it is you watched, you still were there, you still joined me, and I want to thank y'all for that. I want to thank y'all for the changes that I've made. I'm kind of happy streaming to Restream and streaming to YouTube and Rumble simultaneously. All right. So, yeah, I'm thoroughly happy with that. Okay. I'm happy where my stream is now, but I know I can do better. And this next year, if I get the opportunity, I will try to do better. All right. But look, you guys take care of yourselves. You guys watch over each other. You guys be groovy. Y'all be cool to one another. You guys stay safe during this New Year's Eve that's coming up in about 30 minutes. Please stay safe. Please watch over one another. Take care of one another. Hold one another close. And I will see you guys in the new year, in a new game, and hopefully in a better situation. Hopefully leaving all the nonsense of 2025 behind. So you guys take care of yourselves. Watch over each other. Y'all be groovy. Y'all be cool to one another. And I will see you guys in 2026. Laters.